Well, whatever plague Kevin has had for the last 2 weeks finally got me. Let's talk. If you're actually seeing this footage, that means that I did my workout today. And if you don't see this footage, that means I didn't. I'm actually feeling a lot better than when I woke up. Last night, I started to feel, I was like, I don't feel right. It was 7:30 and I was like, I think I'm just gonna go to bed. I woke up around 1 and I felt like my throat was swelling shut, and then slept again until about 7. So I did get a lot of sleep. I'm just feeling achy and my throat is very sore. I know someone's gonna come in the comments and be like, you're overworking yourself, that's why you got sick. No, that man back there got me sick, which is fine. It was bound to happen. We live together. Anyway, let's talk. It is day 10 and we are set to do a Natasha Oceane workout today. So I did some research on her gym guides because I know that's what the slip of paper said, but I did browse a little bit and it does not seem like the best use of our time to review like one day of a whole program. Also, a lot of her programs are very like, here's the outline, now we get to build your day one. So I just don't think that's gonna be super useful today. What I would rather do is look at one of Natasha's workouts and talk about how functional it is. Because that's a big part of her brand, I guess, and her belief system is functional training. So I found this very recent leg day workout that she posted on her Instagram. It's very athletic. It looks like a lot of fun. I wanted to go to the gym and do it, but we will not be exposing people to my germs today. Let's talk about the schedule, which has already changed. So I was supposed to have a client at 9:30 this morning in person. Canceled to be responsible. Had to eat that training fee. Basically, a lot of independent trainers in New York will like rent space at a gym. So unfortunately, because it was within 24 hours, I lost that money, but we're not trying to get everybody sick around us. I am gonna keep my virtual session. So I have 2 virtual sessions, then we're gonna see how we feel. Maybe we'll do just like a moderate version of this Natasha Oceane workout. And then I do have 2 more virtual clients. My last client of the day is in person, so I did cancel with her. And then if this actually ends up being a video, we're gonna edit it. This definitely is not ideal. This is definitely putting like a wrench in my plans, but I guess this is just part of life. Getting sick. So it's 10:15 right now. My first client's at 11. So I'm just gonna like get a little bit more freshened up so I don't look like death and can actually like coach and motivate somebody. So let's go do that. Oh, we're back. Let's chat. I feel like poo-poo. I actually just canceled with my last client of the day. Shout out to Matt. He doesn't watch these videos, but shout out to you. You're a gem. Because I made the mistake of sitting down and eating lunch after I did that workout, and I like literally couldn't get back up. I felt terrible. But I did get back up and I just worked with my last client. Let's stop blabbing and talk about the workout. Right off the bat, I just wanna say, I did not do the full workout because I am sick. If it wasn't for making these videos, I would have done nothing at all, but I just kind of have to. But you do not need to work out through sickness. And I actually just did one set of everything just to like get a feel for it. I used a little bit lighter weight than I actually would have. Just wanna put that out there at the beginning. If you're sick, you are more than welcome to rest. So we have to talk about 2 things. Is this science-backed and did I enjoy it? I wanna read you the beginning beginning of the caption really quickly because I think it gives you a good sense of Natasha's energy. A little lower body day inspiration to unlock the next level of movement. This can be a full workout, or you can just sneak an idea or two and add them to your classics. Training a mix of planes, tempos, and stabilizer muscles will make you feel so confident in your body however you want to move it. You don't have to go heavy, but just really emphasize the core training cues to load up on all the benefits. And then she goes through and talks about each exercise, some different cueing. We'll get to that in a minute. So the three things that Natasha talks about here are planes of motion, tempos, and stabilizing muscles. And these are kind of staples of what most people consider functional training. We're going to get to that in a second. But planes of motion essentially just means what direction you're moving in. So we have three of them. The sagittal plane moves you up and down, front to back. The frontal plane moves you side to side, and the transverse plane moves in a twisting movement. The reason why it's important to at least sprinkle in these other movement patterns besides just sagittal, up, down, front to back within our workouts is because we move that day in daily life. We don't always just move in the sagittal plane, even though most traditional exercises are going to take us there. She also talks about varying tempos. We can move fast, we can move slow, we can hold a movement, we can move in a way that focuses on the eccentric contraction or the concentric contraction. What's the why here for general population? We move at different tempos in daily life, so we want to make sure that we're strong to prevent injury in those different tempos. And then finally, she talks about stabilizing muscles. So these are a lot of different things, but to give you some examples, inner thighs, so adductors, all of those different muscles. I would make a claim that your glute med, since it helps to stabilize your pelvis, is a stabilizer. I know Natasha is a runner, so she probably does a lot of work on the muscles around the ankle, like the anterior tibialis. So there's a lot of different stabilizing muscles, a lot of different ways that we can kind of define that. But most of the time, we're going to hit those things with unilateral training, with moving in different planes of motion, with moving in different tempos. So they all kind of tie in together. And this brings us to something called functional training. I know Natasha uses this phrase, I use this phrase, and my definition has definitely adapted over the years. So if you've been here from like my OG fitness reviews, you know that I used to have this formula where I used to grade how functional a workout was based off of, 12 different principles. And it was, well, did we hit the sagittal plane and the frontal and the transverse? And did we move slowly and quickly? And did we get unilateral and bilateral? Like there were all of these different checkpoints. And I don't want to say I was wrong, but I think now I've definitely zoomed out a little bit more and looked at the big picture, because all of those things we want to be in our training, but they don't need to be in every part of our training. We also need to look at what functional means, because functional really just means with purpose. And if your purpose is like, well, I just want to feel better day to day, well, that's a great starting point, right? But now let's look at your day to day. Do you sit at a desk a lot of the day? Well, your hip flexors are probably tight and weak. So we want to work on that. Do you play pickleball on the weekends? You're definitely doing a lot of rotating movements to reach for that ball. So we want to make sure that we're strong in that in our training. Do you dance for fun? Well, we're going to make sure that you have really solid big toe extension and big toe to glute connection. Otherwise, you're not going to feel so good going up on releve. So instead of just saying we need X, Y, and Z to make this functional, we got to look at the individual. So when someone asks me now, is this workout functional? Honestly, my best recommendation is if you can make a claim for why this is important to you in your daily life, is functional. That's where I am at in my functional training mindset. And I always get the feeling that Natasha and I are very well aligned there. It really just means training with purpose. So if you can justify it, it's functional. Let's talk about the program itself. I really loved all of these exercises. We had a nice mix of bilateral and unilateral work. We did work in all planes of motion. We worked in various tempos. Now, all of these movements definitely had a higher rep range of 12 to 16 reps for most of the exercises. So I would say this is more of an endurance focused lower body day. There's nothing wrong with that. If you are someone who is working on your athleticism, I actually think this is a great workout for you. Personally, with this programming, I actually would have made a minor switch. I would have done the hip thrusts first and swapped them with the placement of the reverse lunges with the overhead hold. Now, I don't know the why of this workout outside from just hey, here's a lower body day. But for most people, it's going to be the most beneficial to get your biggest lift out of the way first. In this routine, it is definitely the hip thrust. It's bilateral, so you're going to be able to generate the most power. It's the thing that you're going to be able to load up the heaviest. But otherwise, I thought the programming was kind of spot on. So in terms of science-backed, what are the claims? It's a lower body day. There's definitely hints of athleticism in here, functional training. I think it's spot on. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I wish I was feeling better because I was going through this and I was like, I'm really vibing with this workout. Let's talk enjoyment. All right, so obviously I'm miserable today, but I still really enjoyed the single set of these exercises that I did. I saw the why behind the programming. I saw the science to support it. And I think Natasha does a really good job of stringing together different exercises and different drills that are unique but not silly. Like you'll see a lot online of these combination exercises, like let's say someone does a deadlift into a bicep curl, and it's like, well, that's so stupid because you can deadlift a lot more than you can bicep curl. So like you're just kind of wasting your time, right? But I do think that Natasha does a really good job of treading that line of like, she comes up with stuff that's different, but it's not different to be different. There's still a purpose behind it. So aside from me being cranky, I did enjoy this workout. And here we are, everybody, again, 2 days in a row. We're giving her a 5 out of 5. We got 2 10s in a row. We have 3 total. Let's pick tomorrow's workout. I don't know why I'm yawning. I literally got like 13 hours of sleep. All right, we're hoping for like a yoga with Adriene type of vibe for tomorrow. Here we go. We're just gonna pick this one. It feels like a winner. Pamela Reif. Great. I'm going to go to bed. I also know I don't need to apologize for this, but I am sorry that I'm a little cranky today. You're following me for 23 days, so it was bound to happen, but I really appreciate all of you being here. I appreciate all of your comments and feedback, and I'm really, really grateful that everyone so far has been like really open to learning while I try out all of these different workouts. And I'm just really happy that you're all enjoying these workout reviews without me just being like a sassy little bitch. So thank you. Goodbye. Let's hope we feel better tomorrow.